Hey y'all, this is AL Think Madame. And before I get started, I just want to say I am so sorry that I have been behind. I'm trying to be more proactive when it comes to this channel. And even though I am not like the people who actually do get paid to put things out there and have content, I am trying to, be consistent. So I apologize for that. I was going through a whole lot this past week. Lord, y'all, I was stressing to the max. And I know that that's not good. And as a Christian, I know that's not the thing to do anyway. And I prayed a lot and I stressed a whole lot too. So, yeah, y'all. I'm just glad this week is over and things panned out for me. After all that stress and everything panned out. So, yeah. Oh, Lord, y'all. Okay. Okay, let me get my mind right. And also a disclaimer. There are times that I am making a video, y'all see me drinking something. It's usually one of 3 or 4 things: water, green tea, ginger ale that is more than likely cranberry or blackberry because I hate regular ginger ale. It's very disgusting to me. Or an actual beverage, which I don't believe I've ever done that online and have it posted or whatever. Don't think I've ever done that. But anyway, those are one of the 4 things that y'all will see me drinking. But like today, I'll be drinking some green tea, and this is peach brewed tea that was already pre-sweetened, 0 calories, 0 all that. And to me, it just has like a slight aftertaste, but I think after a while drinking it, I can get over that because I really, really, really love tea, and regular tea is terrible for us. So yeah, I'm just trying to do better. It's gonna take me a while, but yeah. Anyway, on to the review. Y'all, so anyway, this is the recap review or whatever you want to call it for the family business. So it comes back on, and the whole family is at the house where they left off, where they were in the middle of a barbecue, cookout, or whatever you want to say it is. And the dude whose name is, I think his name is Juan, he came and he delivered the news to the family that Orlando was dead. So everybody is distraught, of course, and they're trying to understand what in the world's going on, what you mean, like all the emotions that everyone would have given information like that. So, everybody in their feelings. And the dude is basically like, look, I understand that this is a very trying situation, but you have to remember you shouldn't retaliate or do any of these other things. And Paris was like, nah, I don't care nothing about what you talking about. I'm going to find who killed my brother and I'm going to put a bullet in their head. Like, she said it all of the way off, y'all. It was so bad. I was like, oh my gosh. So, her daddy, kind of calmed her down or whatever and told her, like, calm down. We can't do all that. And the dude was like, look, we don't want anything to pop off. And LC was like, well, is this going to do anything as far as, what was going on with the deal and stuff we had with the cartel? We don't want any of this drama to happen. We don't want a war to ensue. So, that wouldn't be a good idea to retaliate or whatever. So then, Charlotte, the mother, she was like, look, all I want is for you to get my son's body here. I don't want his body to be somewhere buried in some random desert. I want to bury my own child. So, he was like, I promise you, I'll give you my word that I'll do that for you. So the dude leaves, right? And so Charlotte and LC are left alone. And so she was already like, look, ain't nothing else to say. She was like, all I want is for my grandson and his mother to be brought to me. Because Orlando knocked up Ruby. So those are the people that she was referring to. And he was like, you have my word, I do that, whatever. So meanwhile, Alejandro's wife is at the house chilling, smoking outside with the nephew who she's been screwing. So then her brother pops up and was like, I'm afraid that I have to deliver this bad news to you and all this other stuff. Letting her know basically that Orlando's not coming home and her husband isn't either. And so she was like, oh, that's terrible. So then he like straight up asked her, like, did you do this? Did you kill Orlando? And so she was like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm just a woman. I was just like, so since all that popped off, the dude told the nephew, look, you're going to be over the West Coast distribution of the drugs and all this other stuff since Alejandro no longer exists and all that good stuff. And right now I need you to go and meet some people at the airport and make sure that Orlando's body gets to his family. And so he was like, all right, yeah, I do that, whatever. So it goes to another scene, and Malik Yoba, aka Randy, Ruby's brother, they showing him at a house, and the house gets raided by ATF, and they shoot and kill like everybody, just about everybody, at the house except for Malik Yoba. And so Harris, London, who is Tammy Roman's character, he's outside kind of staking out the situation and on the phone with somebody. I'm thinking it's LC. And, trying to give him a play-by-play of what's going on. And then they end up arresting Randy. And so he was like, well, yeah, he doesn't look hurt, but I'm going to make sure we end up taking him to, they have some kind of like, I guess, reserved area in the hospital that they have their own little, I guess it's kind of like you see in these different movies and TV shows where people who are kind of like in the criminal world, they have like their own little setup in like little houses or whatever, but they had like a little part of a wing in a hospital where they're gonna have him sent, because he was like, well, I don't think he's hurt or anything. I don't think he's been shot or hurt, but we'll send him there. So that's what they were gonna do. So Charlotte, LC, and Nevada, the grandson, they all meet up with the guy Juan, who was the guy who was supposed to create the meeting that essentially got Orlando killed. So they bring in the casket. So Charlotte's trying to gather herself because, I'm not a mother, but I'm just saying I can only imagine you over here about to view your child's body. Your child just got killed, and so you about to view the body. So she's trying to gather herself. She cues, kind of head nods to somebody to open the casket. They open up the casket. Everybody looking like, what in the world? So LC to set it off. He was like, what is going on here? This better be a joke. And so Charlotte was like, I appreciate y'all, sending my nephew's body, but I'm gonna need for y'all to send my son's body because that's what we were expecting. So everybody was looking like, what in the world? He was like, oh no, she was like, well, where's my son's body? So he was like, well, I'm gonna get on that right now. I'm gonna try to figure out what in the world happened with that situation because it was really too much. So we are back at Alejandro and his wife's house. So they show Alejandro's nephew arm in arm with the wife. And so they're walking, and I'm like, okay. They end up walking, and she's like, open. She's telling the guards to open the door. So I guess they were guarding this door to a particular part of the house that had Orlando in it. So Orlando's on the floor, handcuffed. Keep in mind, they don't know that he is who he is. They think that he's just some random person. Okay, cool. So she ends up telling the guards to clean him up and that he's a very important man and he's going to be very valuable to us. And so the nephew was like, well, okay, we'll see or whatever, y'all. I was like, oh, Lord. Yeah, they said something about how, she said something about how he was going to be the future. He was going to bring something valuable to the future. So that's why he was like, I'm going to try to figure out how that's going to happen. In his mind, you know how you are. Like, you're like, I don't know what this person's going to do, but okay. So that's the kind of vibe he was giving off. So then they show us Randy handcuffed to a hospital bed. So, he over here trying to figure out what he doing there. And so LC and who was it? Harris, they were there. And so they basically were propositioning him for Ruby and the grandson, basically. So they were like, look, we know you need legal representation. Harris can provide that for you. If you do what we're asking you to do, we can get your sentence reduced drastically. And, whatever, you want to be on the winning team, you need to be with us or whatever. So he was like, I have to think about it or whatever. And I'm looking like, you ain't got no dog, and you ain't got no options, sir. Like, what are you talking about? You'll think about it. What does that even think about? Who are you? And of course, it's all in an effort to get Vinny out of the picture. So Junior is, of course, deeply in his feelings. Just lost his uncle. They scattered his ashes. Now he's under the impression that his brother is deceased. So I think he's at his house or on one of their yachts or something, or at her house. Is her name Sonia? You know the woman I told y'all I live for, the nurse. At the nurse house, they together somewhere, and it's sexy time or whatever. And so he in his feelings, like she, in the bed, and he just posted up on the wall, like really in his feelings. And so she was like, well, I'm going to take care of you and whatever. So he was like, what you mean you going to take care of me? So, she had to go ahead. She had to go ahead and be like, you know what I'm saying? I'm your woman. So, she laid him down to bed and, she showed him what that mouth do. And I was like, ma'am. She did the most. I was like, oh God. It was too much, y'all. I was so tired. So Orlando is now dressed professionally, and he is basically at a dinner table, like I guess outside setup of a dinner with Alejandro's wife and the nephew. So they're talking to him, and they go on to talk about saying something about, basically asked him, are you the person who created heat? And so he was like, or whatever, because it was like we basically had no use for you if you were the one who didn't create it and the person we killed was the one who created heat. So he basically was like, yeah, I created heat or whatever. So they had this long drawn out back and forth exchange talking about how he is going to be valuable to them because they'll be able to cut out the Duncans and whatever. And so he was like, well, that's going to be a problem because I only work for the Duncans and I'm not going to work for y'all. And so, he was, the guy got frustrated. What's his name? Manny. His name is Manny, the nephew, if I'm not mistaken. So he got mad. He pulled a gun on Orlando. And he was like, you going to do what we tell you to do or we going to kill you. So he was like, well, I guess you're just going to have to kill me because I ain't doing it. So he was getting close to killing him. And so the wife was like, no, you can't be hasty about that. He, if any of this gets out, get back to the cartel or whatever, it's going to be a problem for us or whatever. And so, Orlando was already like, if they find out that you killed him and me, it's really going to be a problem with the cartel. So, that's why she was like, I had to think, we got to think rationally when it comes to these things. So then he was like, well, all we got to do, he basically thought that, well, if we get the formula, we ain't got to worry about whether he's alive or not because we'll have the formula and we'll still be able to manufacture it. So he was like, it ain't that simple. Ain't no formula. You know what I'm saying? He was saying that he is the one. He basically got to put hands on. And he said even if he were to give other people step-by-step instructions on what to do, they wouldn't even know what to do. More than likely. Like, they would probably still kind of fail, even if he was telling them directly what to do. So that's telling you that is very, very crazy. And that is very, very... And he already said it took him 5 years to perfect it. So what makes you think that he's just going to be able to hand some off to somebody else when he himself had been the one working on this by himself? So I'm just looking like, y'all doing the most. So while they were in the middle of this heated discussion with the gun drawn on him, Juan pops up with some of his own people and was like, what's the meaning to this? Y'all need to put the guns away. Told the boy to put the gun away, and he did. So then they find out that that's Orlando. Oh my gosh. You don't understand how hard I laughed. I laughed so hard to scream. I was like, because the wife's face, her face explained everything. She was so speechless. Y'all, I was dying. I was so tired. She looked like, oh my gosh, what in the world? So she was looking dumb. And I was just like, yeah. So he ended up sending sending Orlando home and all this other stuff. And so it was like, yeah, we got to, make sure my family know I'm all right or whatever. He was like, oh, I'm working on that. That's in the works, whatever. So they was about to leave. Y'all, I was so tired. It was so hilarious. So they ended up, like he said he was going to do one setup for him to be able to get home. I think they were trying to infer that he was put on one of those, y'all know those planes that have like I want to say the right name. It's not a Bowie, but it's like the ones that can land on water. I forgot what they called that particular thing. But anyway, they showed that land and then whatever. And because everybody was at the dock. And like I said before, I think they have yachts and boats and stuff out there. And they have living quarters out there. And since that was a place that their Uncle Lou loved to be at, that's where everybody's been congregating a lot lately. Anyway, Paris was outside on the dock on the phone talking to somebody. And so somebody was rolling up. I was like, who is this? I actually thought that it was that first dude she was screwing when we first saw the show when it first came on. But it was Orlando. He snuck up on her and picked her up. And so she started screaming. And then she realized it was him. She was like, Mom, Dad. So they came out the house. Her twin came out the house. Junior came from where he was. Like the whole family came out the house. The only people that were missing were London and Harris because she, still got her issues going on with postpartum. And I don't know where Harris was unless he was somewhere with her at the hospital, if she's still in the hospital or not. But anyway, they had their own little moment where everybody was hugging him and happy to see him and surprised to see him. Like a whole lot of emotions were going on because everybody thought he was dead. So yeah, that happened. So remember I told y'all like a couple of episodes back that there was this black woman that is an assassin. Yeah, she was in this episode. Because I got confused at first and I thought she was somebody else, but I was completely wrong. So as the episode progressed, I was like, wait a minute. And so this time, and if they ever said it before, I never caught it, but I caught it this time. Her name is Sasha. So the black assassin, Sasha, she was in the shower. And so then she heard a noise, she heard somebody, so she ended up pulling her gun in the, you know how some people, they just got to have their gun everywhere. She's an assassin, so of course she has her person on her at all times. So she pulled a strap, and it turns out that it was, what's his name, Manny, the same dude that is the nephew to Alejandro, and the one that's screwing Alejandro's wife. Now, if this has been him the whole time that she's been screwing, which I think it is, I just never connected the dots. I don't know why. I was more focused on who she was because I was like, she's amazing at her job. So I was very, very focused on that. I didn't care nothing about who he was for. I just knew he was some random dude. But anyway, so he hops in the shower and, it is inferred that they were having sex. So I was like, all right. So Orlando is telling everybody what happened while he was there. And then they end up going into specifics about how Heat is doing well. And everybody is on board that they met with to tell them that they are distributing this and how great it's going to be and how well it's done in other places. And then, that's the gist of what happened in that scene. So then Ruby is on the couch asleep. So then Vinny walks in the room on the cell phone, and he all loud. So then Ruby wakes up. And so she was like, well, who's dead? I was like, Lord. So in typical BET fashion, they went to a whole nother scene. I was just like, and, of course, we're supposed to be thinking that they think that Orlando is dead. So anyway, they go back to Randy, who is Malik Yoba, in the hospital where he's still, I don't want to say shackled, still handcuffed to the bed. And this time, Orlando is with them. And so he basically was like, what kind of tricks y'all playing? I thought you were dead and all this other stuff. And so they were like, look, I ain't dead. And so Harris was like, look, we all thought he was dead. LC sent me to tell you all this stuff or whatever. And everybody actually did think he was dead. So they were like, look, you need to make a decision. Did you make a decision yet on what you're going to do? And so, they brought up the deal again. And he was like, no. So they ended up, he kept trying to make it seem like, well, I don't know if I want to do it or not. because that's how much he hates the Duncans. So then they were like, well, you keep on trying to make it seem like you so here for this dude, but he ain't here for you. He been cleaning out your bank accounts, like his bank accounts were on zero. How you clean out somebody's bank accounts? How you clean out your soon-to-be wife's brother's bank accounts like that? And she ain't got no, she has no knowledge of it at all that you're doing these things, because I'm pretty sure she would not have been here for that or whatever. So then he, was like singing another tune, because before that, a few seconds before that, they were like, look, we have put $1 million into an untraceable Swiss bank account that's overseas, that's very, 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 very secure, and it's all yours. So they handed him like this iPad or something, some kind of tablet, and he saw what it was. He looked at it, he was like, it's not about the money. And he's all about thinking that Vinny's his brother and always saying that's his brother. And that's when they dropped the bomb on him. That ain't your brother, he been stealing from you, and he done took over your position as if you are not living anymore. And he got mad and he went on ahead and took the deal, because that's all he really could do. So everybody left but Orlando, and he basically let everybody know, like, look, I need to talk to him for a minute. So he was like, look, I know you had your beef with my family, but look, we just trying to help. And so he was like, I love your sister. And so dude in his feeling, he was like, you don't like my sister, you just like the work she do. He was like, look, the situation started off one way, but I come to realize that I really do love her and all this other stuff. So he was like, well, if you really do love her, why didn't you marry her? Why Vinny over here? He asked her to marry her. You didn't. So he explained to him, like, look, I was gonna marry her, but some stuff popped off with some other stuff. We handled that, and by the time I got back, she was gone, which was the truth. He really was gonna marry her. So he was like, I don't believe that. He basically was like, he don't believe nothing he talking about. He was like, look, I really do love your sister. Do you think I'd be here trying to talk to you and convince you of anything if I didn't care about what you thought in reference to her or whatever? So he was like, look, I'm gonna need for you to talk to your sister for me. So he looking like, whatever. So LC and Charlotte are talking again, because as we know, Charlotte kicked him out and was like, she was really deep off in her feelings because nobody told her about this heat situation. So she was like, don't think because I'm letting you back in that I'm done talking to you about this heat situation. So, he was like, I missed you. She said she missed him, and they're kissing, and then they're interrupted by a phone call. So Juan called to make sure that Orlando actually got home. And so he's like, yeah, he made it here fine. And then Elsie was like, well, we're going to have to set up like a day where we play golf together or something and all that. And so, he was like, I'm going to set that up, whatever, and he got off the phone. So they went on by their business. And, which I think is smart when Charlotte said this. And I mean, to me, it should be common sense, but everybody like this. I don't know why people see situations that have happened and they want to make it seem like it's just over. Ooh, the magic has happened and now it's over. Charlotte said, I want to believe that it's over, but I know it's not. The wife, Alejandro's wife, she's grieving. She's lost a son. She's lost her husband. She has nothing. Really, she has nothing. And you think it's going to be over? You think the beef going to be over? She was like, I'm going to need for y'all to understand the beef ain't going to never be over, because she's out for revenge, which is true. So they went on about their business, y'all. It was a whole lot. So they end up going to another scene where Orlando is on the phone. He called Ruby, trying to talk to Ruby. Y'all, I don't know why. I ain't pay attention to her at first. So anyway, he was trying to talk to her, and so she was like, you need to back up off my husband. He was like, husband? He was like, yeah, we're married now. So Orlando's in his feelings because he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna come get you, and all, basically trying to let her know, as usual, that he loves her, want to be with her. And so she was like, you need to get over that. I got a husband, basically. Y'all, I was like, Lord, you done did the most, heifer. So he's really in his feelings. So they end up going back to Sasha. Sasha goes back into the bedroom to where Manny is waiting. And he pulls out a ring and asks her to marry him. And she's like, whoo, who? And so, he was like, what's the problem? Whatever. And so she was like, I can't marry you. And so he was like, I don't understand what you mean. We love each other and all this other stuff. And so she basically was like, no. And he was like, give me 3 reasons why you can't marry me. So then she starts listing off the reasons, y'all. I was so tired. She said something about how she is a sex addict, nymphomaniac, all this other stuff, masturbates 10 times a day, has sex with random strangers in elevators and all this other stuff. That was her first, that was just one reason, y'all. But that was the first reason. I was like, ma'am, you doing the most. Then she says that she will tell anybody that she loves them because that's just something to say for her. So, for him to just try to make it seem like, well, we love each other. We say we love each other all the time. In her mind, she's like, I will say that to anybody. Like, whatever. And the third reason why was because she came in there to kill him because apparently he pissed off a lot of people, a lot of key players, a lot of big wigs, and they are not happy with him right now. So she came there to kill him. So she was like, I would not make a good wife. And so he trying to plead with her, still got the ring out of everything. He was like, look, baby, we can get out of here. We can run away. We can get away from here, whatever. And so she started crying and was like, we can't do it. I can't do it. You got to go. She ended up killing him. Shot him something terrible. And she crying the whole time. I was like, what? Like, ma'am. And you could tell that she actually had some kind of feelings for him. Like, she was like, you're a freak. Like, that was one of the first things she said when it was a part of the first reason why she said she couldn't be with him. But she lived for the fact that he's a freak. So, yeah. So, all those times that she was having sex with somebody, it was him. And I don't know why I didn't connect the dots. I don't know why it dawned on me just now that he was the one. But before, I didn't see it. I thought that was some other random dude. Unless it was other people and I'm just now seeing that it's him. I don't know. But anyway, this particular time, it really was Alejandro's nephew that she was with. But I'm thinking that that's the dude she been with this whole time, y'all. I was tired. So anyway, Orlando was in the kitchen. And he was just standing at the counter in his feelings. And he had like one of those glass containers that people put brandy and scotch and all that stuff in. And he was just standing there. And so his mama walked in the kitchen and was like, asked him to pour her a drink. So she's trying to talk to him and was like, well, Ruby and your baby on your mind and all this other stuff. And so, he explained to her that they got married and she said that she was going to name the baby after him. And so she was like, he's going to be a Duncan. He's a Duncan still or whatever. So she gave him all this encouragement. And I was just like, Lord. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. Within his conversation when he was talking to Ruby earlier that day before this moment happened, she sat up there and was like, I'm going to name the baby Vinny just to spite you. It's just the way she has been continuously talking to him. I'm just like, why are you so mad? Like, why? Like, the majority of the time that they were together, he treated her beyond good. So I'm confused why she has this misplaced anger and frustration. I don't understand because he really changed to be with her. Like, he was everything to her. I don't get it. Y'all, so anyway. So the last thing that happened, which was something that I already predicted was going to happen. When, I forgot if I even said that part. When Juan came to the house and was talking to Alejandro's wife, he was like, yeah, and your brother want to see you. So this is the part where she actually goes to Mexico City, Mexico to meet up with him. So he's there with one of his associates at a table to talk to her. And so, once again, he's trying to, figure out what's going on, to see if she really did these things, that she ain't do nothing. So the brother's name is Marcos. But anyway, talking to Marcos, and he knows that she did this, killing the nephew and was about to try to kill the real Orlando. And so he was like, ever since we were kids, you always manipulated situations. And so here she go again. So what are you talking about? I'm just a woman. I just could have slapped her through the screen. She just got on my nerves. Like, she really would play that role like she was naive to everything that was going on. First of all, you were married to Alejandro, and you know what he was doing. So why you always trying to make it seem like you ain't got nothing to say, you ain't got nothing to contribute? I'm confused. Like, you really doing the most, y'all. So she really sat up there, tried to act like she didn't know what was going on. He was like, look, I know you did it, but this time you've taken things way too far. Y'all, so he told her, what you gonna do is you gonna spend out the rest of your days in some nunnery. And so she was like, yeah, so what I'm not gonna do is that. So she pulled out a gun, stood up, and shot the associate. Then she pointed the gun at her brother. So he realized the jig was up and that he wasn't gonna be able to, get out of this and walk away. So, he took, picked his hat up off the table, put it on, was like, look, just don't shoot me in the face. He was like, they mama always like they smile. So she was like, okay, sure, brother. Shot him in the chest, killed him something terrible. Because she was like, I ain't got time for this. I'm going to get my revenge. And throughout this whole conversation, before they even got up to this point, she was like, you might as well kill me now. Because at first he was like, well, I'm not going to kill you. You my sister. And I was just like, this of all the situations, you should have killed her. Because she just, ugh. But he was not going to kill her. Because he was like, if you had been anybody else, I would have killed them, but you my baby sister. And she was just like, I don't care what you say. My son is gone. My husband is gone. I have nothing to live for. So you might as well kill me because no matter what you say, no matter what you try to tell me, I'm going to keep coming for the Duncans. So, yeah, y'all, she killed him. And then, like a gangster, she killed him and left the gun on the table and walked out the room. I was like, ma'am. Y'all, so anyway, that's all that happened on that, y'all. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. Y'all have a nice weekend. Bye.